Sure, coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video, guys. I'm glad to have you here, talking a little bit of Raid with yours truly, sending some positive vibes your way today. I got her, guys. I got her. Supreme Elhain. In my opinion, probably the worst out of all the Supreme Void Legendaries versions of the starter champions in the game. But we're going to be the judge. We're going to damage test her compared to other champions out there in terms of PvP and PvE in the video. And you guys can be the judge if you think this champion was worth going for. Fragment summons, to me, I used to say they were easy, but they seem to be getting more and more difficult every single time they do them. I've also noticed there's always these long gaps in between events, which we just had between like Ice Golem and Classic Arena and Fire Knight. So I had to wait a couple days. I was 5 fragments short for like a few days there. I wanted to put this guide out a little bit earlier. Anyway, guys, I'm here to submit to you guys. I'm not going to be a big hater on this champion because there's no doubt about it. If you're early game, mid game, you know, you can probably get some utility out of this champion. But I'm also going to say that for end game, this might sound crazy, but I actually think that Elhain is better than Supreme Elhain. Reason being is because you can use her in, you know, some of the most difficult content in the game, aka Secret Rooms in Doom Tower, as a rare champion in a stun set with 2 AoE attacks. Dark Elhain, I'm not a massive fan of, so maybe I would take Supreme Elhain in that scenario. But, you know, before I go too far with my opinion here, let's go ahead and take a look at her. So first of all, aesthetically, she's looking good. I mean, I feel like all the Supreme champions look nice. I mean, no surprise there. They do a great job with all these champions' art. Let's check out the reviews so far here. They're not bad. They're not bad so far, but again, we don't really look at ratings in this game because you never know what people are gonna think, right? Exemplar of Strikes, a 2-time hitter. Each hit transfers a random debuff from this champion to the target on her A1. You can book that up for extra damage. I'll show you the multipliers in just a second here. Let None Live, her A2 ability on a 3-turn cooldown, attacks all enemies. Damage increases by 10% for each debuff on each target. Resets the cooldown of Crack Shot if this attack kills an enemy, okay? So again, this is heavily dependent on the multipliers, how much damage you're going to do here. And because damage is increased by 10% for each debuff on each target, I would say she's not the best option for a Go Second nuker, which is kind of the meta as we approach Gold 4, Gold 5, and Platinum right now. But as a Go First nuker, I certainly think she could be a viable option for a lot of players, 99% of the players out there who are just trying to farm their Great Haul, you know, as quickly as possible. So, resetting the cooldown of Crackshot is a pretty good ability as well. An add-on here, Crackshot is her A3 ability, and it's pretty cool because this also grants an extra turn if you kill an enemy, okay? So, attacks one enemy, will ignore ally protection, strengthen, and shield buffs. Essentially, this is a way to mitigate bolster and mitigate, well, Necret the Great, right? Strengthen and ally protect. And it also has pretty solid multipliers. On her passive, immune to decreased attack debuffs. Fantastic, right? Inflicts 20% more damage against targets whose attack is lower than this champion's attack. Also great because we're going to make sure we try to get her attack as high as possible. It's going to be higher than, you know, everybody other than maybe the other team's nuker. So that's going to be great. The other team's nuker is probably going to be a little squishy anyway, so we don't really care about it in that scenario. She also has attack in all battles aura by 30%. So again, on paper here, you know, it's hard to know what to make of this champion. How hard is she hitting? So let's go ahead and take a look at her multipliers thanks to HeldHades.com. He gives her a godlike 2 attack rating on the A1 and a 4 attack rating on the AoE attack. Plus, obviously, you get that 10% times debuff count. So, on its face, a 4 multiplier, really not that crazy. You know, there's plenty of epics who can hit harder than her AoE attack. It's resetting the cooldown of the A3, but you have to kill an enemy. So, you know, really, again, setting the table with as many debuffs as possible is going to be the way to go to make sure you kill an enemy and reset the Crack Shot. We're probably going to open with, ideally, the Crack Shot ability. It has a 6 multiplier, a godlike rating. So it hits pretty dang hard. It's not, again, the hardest single target hitter out there, but it's nice to have a heavy hitting attack for people who don't have like Jirgard, the Nutcracker, right? And ignoring all that stuff and then granting an extra turn going into the AoE. And if you kill somebody with the AoE, again, you reset the cooldown of Crack Shot. You go right back into that. Hopefully you kill somebody again and you reset, and again, you take an extra turn and go into the A1. So there's a nice kind of synergy in her kit, again, at face value. So how hard does this champion hit? First, let's go ahead and show you how I built her. I'm going to show you two builds on this champion in today's video. We're going to show you a go first build and a go second build. So this is the go first build. We have her in lethal with crit damage. Total stats here are going to be speed 202, attack 4850, 101, 261 on the crit rate and crit damage on this champion. Obviously, she's a nuker, man, and primarily I would say, again, an arena nuker. So, I mean, you could use her, obviously, in dungeon waves and stuff like that. Nothing wrong with that, especially for progression in the game. However, I still think the arena is where she's meant to be used, or specialized, I would say, in the game personally. I'm interested to see what Hades says about her overall rating a 4 out of 5, and basically giving her high scores in the arena, in every dungeon for the most part. So I'm going to be real with you guys. This is probably a little bit higher than I rank this champion personally, although I might be splitting hairs. I might say she's like a 3.5. To me, she feels rather niche as just an AoE attacker. I mean, in a lot of ways, like, she does less damage than like an Abyss, but she has that cool extra turn reset cooldown, so there's a give and a take there. Is she worthy of a Void Legendary? Yeah, maybe, because of those extra dynamics that we spoke about. Anyway, back to the build here, guys. She's, again, the most underwhelming to me out of the 4 Supreme Champions. But you guys can be the judge. So a little bit low on the attack here, because we don't have attack on our boots, but we will show you that build. This is on a go first arena team, alongside like an Arbiter and a CC champion and a debuffer as well. We'll use Madame Ceres. But we will switch those boots out for attack percentage boots to really try to maximize her damage, especially curious about that A3 crack shot ability. And again, it's very nice that she cannot be decrease attacked. Okay, and we get the 20% extra damage. So, masteries on her. We went with an arena build here. We went down the defense tree, picked up retribution and deterrence for those counterattacks. Remember, a 2 attack multiplier on the A1 is actually pretty dang good, considering it's a double hitter. And then on the offense tree, this is my favorite way to build an arena nuker. We come down a shield breaker, increase damage inflicted on targets with shield by 25%, crit rate, crit damage. We pick up bring it down, increases damage inflicted by 6% when attacking targets with higher max HP. She has like 37k HP, so that's pretty much always going to be the case as well, so extra damage there. Of course, we come down, we pick up Helm Smasher as our tier 6, chance of ignoring defense, and Ruthless Ambush, increased damage by 8% for the first hit on each enemy, which is great. Obviously, we open up with that A3, 8% damage there, and then an extra 8% damage on the AoE on the other 3 targets that we didn't initially attack. So those are the masteries. We're going to stick with those masteries on every build that I show you her in today. Let's go ahead and give her a test run here quickly on the accessories and artifacts. We want attack on the banner. Come on. Okay, there we go. Attack on the banner. We went crit damage on the amulet. We went attack on the ring. Obviously, just maximizing DPS here. We went speed on the boots, attack percentage on the chest, crit damage on the gauntlets, and again, looking for crit rate, crit damage, a little bit of speed too in the substats here, along with attack percentage, which we don't have a ton of, hence the moderate attack, considering it's an endgame build. We do have lethal and crit damage in terms of artifact options on this champion. All right, let's start out, guys, by comparing her to a couple other champions with very similar stats. I went ahead and compared to make sure that we're doing a fair comparison here. Oops. Let's go to... It doesn't really matter. Let's just go to stage 19 here. We're not going to run the entire thing, but I want to compare her AoE attack, and also I would like to compare her single target against just PvE mobs. So we have, I just want to keep the same aura. So we have Painsmith in the aura lead, attack in dungeons by 21%, because when I sub in and out champions, I don't want to always be using the 30% on Supreme Elhain's, to be fair. So we have increased attack, and then we have weakened, decreased defense in Dracomorph. Let's see how much damage she does and compare her again to some other popular nukers out there. So she's going to get way out damaged by some of, like, I have Trunda and attack percentage on her boots. It's not even going to be close. But anyway, let's start with the AoE attack. Let's slow it down. You guys can see. Let None Live does around, what, 140k damage or so? Not too bad. Let's go ahead and try out her A3 ability. Again, setting the table with an increased attack. Getting the debuffs in there. So here's the A3 crack shot. I'm going to slow it down so you can see the animations. We'll go right in the middle there. That's going to do 217k damage. Certainly not bad, right? I mean, this is stage 19, so keep that in mind. But let's go ahead and compare it to give us some sort of a baseline. It's hard when you just see these numbers and don't have anything to really compare it to, right? So let's go with Genbo. Let's go Genbo first. Obviously, we're just going to use his AoE attack and see what kind of damage he can put out, okay? So Genbo is kind of weird because, aka amazing, because he has a self-buffing ability with extra crit damage, but I'm not going to use it here at first, okay? So just the increased attack to make things fair, even though he has it in his kit, but here we go. He's going to be putting out, well, around what, like 90k to 120k? So he was out-nuked in terms of damage. Now, like, out of curiosity, I do want to run it with the increased crit damage because it's part of his kit after all, you know? It's part of his kit. So let's see. We're just going to put it on auto here. Okay, here he goes. Heartless Blitz. Oh, did he really not even go into his own ability? That's weird that he didn't AI into it. Let's give him another shot here. Jeez, that was kind of... I didn't realize that he that he didn't buff himself and take the extra turn, right? Maybe he thought he was going to kill them all anyway, right? All right, so here we go. And try it again. Take 2. Debuff. Come in, pass the baton, so to speak, to Genbo. Now we get that extra crit rate, extra crit damage. Now we come in here. And so with his buff, I would say his damage is very similar to hers. This is an epic champion versus a void legendary champion, so keep that in mind. Again, stats very, very similar on these champions. Let's go ahead and compare her to... I feel like a +4 Baron wouldn't even be fair at all. Let's go A3 ability, and let's compare her to an Elhain, right? So he has, I want to say, a 5.8 multiplier, something around that neighborhood on his single target attack. So let's see what we can do here. Okay, so we're going to go with the A2 attack one enemy, and he's doing 212k damage. So again, very similar on their single target abilities, Elhain and Supreme Elhain. Let's go ahead and let's bring in a big gun just to show you what a big gun looks like in terms of damage. Here comes Trunda. And again, might be an unfair comparison because keep in mind, Trunda does have attack percentage on her boots right now. But still, I mean, she's hitting for 100 and she's hitting for the same as Supreme Elhain, only doing it twice. So that's a lot more damage there, obviously. Now, I mean, I said Supreme Elhain, Supreme Elhain. So I think we've done enough damage. You know what? Let's just try. I want to do one more nuker who's not Trunda, right? So let's see who we have. You know who I have, guys? Astrolon. Let me just make sure that I have his crit rate, his crit damage. No, I don't have him. I don't have him totally built. Let's go with... I'm going to try to... Should we go? Yeah, let's go Nutcracker. Why not, right? Why not? All right, so what can Nutcracker do on his AoE and PvE content? I must admit, I have not run a bunch of Nutcracker in PvE. Let's slow it down. A2. Boom. Oof, like 250k or so. That's pretty insane. I do want to try her with attack percentage boots on these mobs too, just to see how much that ups the damage out of curiosity. But first, let's replay one more time here, guys. And let's just go with the single target ability and see how much he can do on that. I imagine this is going to be the most damage that we see here. It is this one. Boom. 321k. So yeah, definitely the hardest hitter here. Let's go ahead and take things into the arena. But first, I want to show you her in the arena on a go first team, okay? All right, guys, so here we are in Platinum Tier Arena. I just want to do a quick kind of go first test with her and test her damage. So let's get Trunda out of there, and then we'll switch her over to the attack percentage boots as well and try her kind of on a go second team. But again, I do think because of that AoE attack scaling with damage, running her in a go first team is the way to go probably on this champion. But anyway, let's go ahead and see. So let's go in here and CC the enemy team. And again, we're already looking at, you know, a significant 5 plus all these debuffs, you know, whatever we're landing and not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to kill somebody with the crack shot ability first and then grant the extra turn. So who has the lowest defense here? I have no clue, but I'm going to go for Rector Drath. And we get 143k, so not bad at all. She comes back in with the AoE. She does a pretty good job there. She does a pretty good job. Let's test her again against a little bit of a speedier team here. I have to say, those numbers, oh, they go first. Wow, I was outsped. I was outsped, guys. We'll come back for these guys. We'll come back for you, Thorgal. All right, let's go this team here, right? And again, let's see what we can do here. So, speed boost, increase attack. Go ahead and put them to sleep. Debuff them. Again, we're rocking a lot of debuffs, so we're going to get a nice... It's one of those weird things, right? Where a lot of debuffs on the enemy team. Do we risk it and try to one-shot somebody? Or do we just go right in because of all that extra damage we're going to get off the A2? I think we risk it and try to get rid of Lydia here. And we easily do. Come back into the A2 and kill everybody. I have to say, on a go first team, I started the video kind of being a little bit of a hater, but not bad, right? Let's try one more. Again, having those debuffs is imperative. Otherwise, you're looking at like a starting champions multipliers or worse, you know? Granted, her base attack scales a lot better, so it's kind of unfair to say that maybe, but let's try again. All there is, I'm going to go after Duchess here because she has decreased defense, and we're going to try yet again to get that 130k and come back around here again, and dude, everybody's dead. Wow. I have to say, man, she's not bad for a go first arena nuker at all. It's funny, too. I almost feel like re-recording the beginning of the video where I was like, the regular Elhain is better than her. So anyway, let's go ahead and swap out those boots. And even though, again, I want to be very clear here, I do think that that's the way to do it. She's a great Hall farmer, but I guess the only issue there, and it's not an issue, but like how much better is she than a Genbo the Dishonored, right? A Void Epic versus a Void Legendary. And for me, that's kind of, I stole all Foley's gear to put on her, by the way. For me, that's the crux of the issue, right? All right, guys, so now we bump our attack up quite a bit at 5,700. The trade-off is a bit less speed on this champion, so let's go ahead and give her a run and see what we can do now on kind of a go second team and compare her to like a Nutcracker, okay? So let's go ahead and take her off of this squad. Actually, you know what? Let's run her with the attack on this team against a team that we think we can beat, right? And let's just see what the damage differential is first. So again, this is on a go first team, just so we have the debuffs. Dealing with 3 stone skins, you love to see it. Can we remove a couple of these? It would be fantastic. Let's remove at least one. Okay. This is why she won't be meta in Platinum, because of Polymorph. And if that's the deal, basically, having to get a ton of damage from this champion, I don't think she's going to be able to kill anybody with this, but let's try. Nope. As I was saying, being able to get a ton of damage and maximizing this champion's potential, for me, you really need like a Madame Ceres type coming in there with the debuffs. And, well, that's going to be difficult because of Polymorph being absolutely everywhere at the top of Arena, at least, right? So there she goes. Down she goes. Let's try this squad again. One more fast team, and then we'll switch over and again compare her to a like an Allele and a Nutcracker and just see what kind of damage they can put out comparatively. Now, granted, I'm comparing her against some of the best champions in the game, so I'm totally aware of that. Let's see what we can do here. Again, let's go after... I guess their Reviver here, even though she's asleep. I think we can kill her. 188k, definitely hard hitting, and then we come in, boom, with a nice nuke. That was really nice, hitting very hard with the attack percentage on the boots there. So I can't say I'm displeased, provided you're setting the table with debuffs, you know, and that's a big provision. but it's still a 6 multiplier on that A3. Not bad. Not a bad nuker for sure. Is she worthy of being a void legendary version of a starter celebration for everybody? I don't know if I would go that far. What do you guys think so far? Let me know in the comments, like right now. Pause before you see her in a Go Second team. Are you impressed with this champion? Or are you not impressed by this champion? All right, guys, so let's try her out on this Go Second team with this build. We have her with Raka Viletide, and we have her with a Necrit of our own. I do want to test her out against a Necrit team, obviously, and I want to compare her as well to, Nutcracker and Elhain. So here she goes. Let's see, who can we pop off? Well, we have one choice. UDK, easy one-shot, and here we come in. No buffs on them, but not too bad, not too bad. But again, we compare that damage. I want to do the same thing against this team. We're just going to go down the line here. The first team that we fail against, then I'm going to sub in somebody else and we'll see. I could even try like a Baron. The cool thing is with Baron, though, is he's got that 100% ignore defense, which she certainly does not have. But here we go. We got block damage. Now, the problem here is that, again, what she's ignoring on that A3 is fairly limited when compared to an Elhain or a Nutcracker. Ally protection, strength, and shield, no block damage, so nothing's going to do anything here. We might as well just A1. Luckily, we can keep her alive with Necrit. We'll go ahead and ally protect here. He has Stone Skin on, so we don't want to go ahead and ally attack. Just wait for these annoying buffs to wear off here, guys. Then we'll see what she can do. So, we're obviously going to target the Reviver first here. Try to one-shot Arbiter. And get an extra turn and kill everybody else. 103k. Extra turn. Boom. Just not doing 8,000 damage. Good God. Not doing that much damage without the debuffs there, right? Now, you might say, well, yeah, dude, I mean, like, they've got increased defense and strength and stuff like that, but when compared to the better Go Second nukers, we're talking like a Candrafon, we're talking Hefrak, we're talking, Go First or Go Second nukers, they can do quite a bit more damage, than she can, provided there's, no debuffs. If there's debuffs on the enemy team, sure, she can outdamage with that ability. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and close this one out and just compare her to somebody else. We would have won, obviously, but I want to take her out. All right, guys, let's try Hefrak in a similar team. This would not be the ideal team for Hefrak. Usually I like to run like a Hegemon, someone a little squishier so they die and he instantly activates, but I just want to test the damage here between he and her when it comes to when there are buffs on the enemy team. So we're basically going to do the exact same thing that we just did here. Just burn an A1, wait till the block damage falls off, and then come back around. And I just want to see, we got like 8,000 damage or whatever against Mithrala. I kind of want to see what we're going to be able to do here without it. So let's just go do the same thing that we did last time. Let some of these buffs fall off. Hopefully Mithrala, okay, great. And put Rhodas to sleep. So here we go. Let's just go in and see what he can do. I mean, come on. And really, yeah, that was not too heartening, I gotta tell you, from this video, I hope it helps you out as much as it's helped me, because to me, she's a champion. My early synopsis that can help people for progression, definitely going to be a nice damage dealer. I definitely love the synergy in her kit. But to say that she's going to be an arena endgame specialist or anything like that, I would definitely not say that, right? Let's go ahead and run her compared to like Nutcracker. She's better on a Go First team, and that could be great for a lot of people, right? Because you might be farming your Great Hall, which most people are. But then I would ask, is she that much better than Rhonda, who a lot of people have already for free? And I would say probably not that much better than Rhonda. And therein lies the problem, Judging her in a vacuum, I personally think she's not a trash champion, but comparing her with other arena nuking options in the game, a Hefrak, a Shemnath, a Rhonda, I think that she's probably, you could make an argument either way, I guess I would say. And if that's the case, then how special is she as a Void celebratory 4th anniversary champion? Anyway, guys, I do want to run a couple. Sorry, this video is going kind of long, but I want to run a couple more battles. You could use this champion in Spider farming as a heavy hitter in Spider. However, I will say, just like the argument we just made, there's a lot of champions you could use in Spider hard as nukers who are going to be able to get the job done, especially provided that you have Hex on the team as well, right? So I don't think that, sure, I mean, yes, you could use her in those situations, but is she a game changer because you can? Probably not. So again here, let's go ahead and target. There's no reviver on there. There is a reviver. Let's target him. Again, we can come in there, kill everybody with the AoE. Not kill everybody with the AoE, and therein lies the problem. So our A3 is great on a go second team, I feel like. It's a solid ability, right? Solid ability for dealing with those Necrets and anything else, any other ally protect champion whom you might be facing. However, her A2 is well suited on a go first team. So that's kind of my synopsis on the champion. I would give her maybe a 4 out of 5 in the arena. Maybe a 4.5 out of 5. Like, I think she's a great nuker for the arena. The problem is there's a lot of great nukers for the arena, right? So there we have it, guys. I think we can wrap the video there. I kept going on to play more and more arena battles. I'm like, you know what? I think the people get the point by now. Overall, is she an elite S-tier champion, especially for being a Void legendary in the game? Personally, I don't think she is. Does that mean she can't help a lot of players out in progression, in dungeons, in Spider, Doom Tower, arena specifically? Absolutely not. She can. She can help out a lot of players, but that's not to say that she is, you know, in my mind, like an S tier, an A tier even champion in the game. Again, I would call her like a B minus if I had to grade her, maybe a C plus in terms of legendary voids out there in the game. I'm really curious to hear from you guys, though. What do you think of Supreme Elhain if you went for her, or just by watching her in this video? What do you think, guys? Thanks, and let me know in the comments below. Appreciate you guys watching until the end of the video, and as always, take care, guys.